missed all they do. Exhausted all her options, there was nothing she could do. When she left, she said, be good and please don't cry. Tears welled in her eyes, and she said, remember, Mama loves you. Brush your teeth and study hard. I am off to make us a better life. Even if we must be apart, oh, we must be apart. All quiet and still. Coyotes cross the border in the early morning chill. Bodies pressed tightly in the back. Well, hope was taking over her fear. And now the world has served her a sober pill, and does so every day. And somewhere, in some home she's made perfection, while her own life is dwindling away, is dwindling away. Oh, 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 it's a sad affair when latitude and longitude hold you in despair. Oh, it's a sad affair when the grief you're breathing daily so much thicker than the air. Manuel, so honest and strong, took a job that promised more, not sensing what was wrong. Taken far away, his heart fell as his fate came clear into view. Now his back is bent from the weight of earth he carries every day. And somewhere, someone with golden fingers will exclaim, how lovely and so nice, how lovely and so nice. Oh, 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 it's a sad affair when latitude and longitude hold you in despair. Oh, it's a sad affair when the grief you're breathing daily so much thicker than the air. Oh, it's a sad affair when latitude and longitude hold you in despair. Oh, it's a sad affair when the grief you're breathing daily so much thicker than the air.
Thank you. So I wrote that song after spending a month in El Salvador. And I was so struck at the stories that I heard there, and by the notion that the latitude and longitude, like that intersection on a map in which you're born, determines so much about the challenges that you'll face during your lifetime and need to overcome, and the privileges that you'll receive as well. And I never imagined, I've been singing that song for 10 years now, all over the place, and I never imagined that this is what I would be doing. I imagined that this is where I would be. This is the Massachusetts State House, which maybe reveals exactly where I am from, not from Maine, from far, far away. And when I was a high school student and going into college, I fervently believed that law and policy was what was going to protect people in the environment, and that was mine to do. And that was until I saw the work of Sebastião Salgado, a documentary photographer, Brazilian-born, and he's traveled all over the world, particularly third world and developing nations, and really has told the stories of the oppressed. And I saw his work. I was a sophomore in college, and it broke my heart, and it changed me as a person. And I knew from that point forward that that I had a different path, and that art was a necessary and absolutely vital and important tool for change in the world, because it changes us as people. So this is where I ended up instead. This is the Salk Institute for Documentary Studies here in Portland, Maine, where I studied documentary photography, did their graduate program. And here we really delved into storytelling. And that's one of our oldest, most ancient traditions as humans in general. And photography is a technology that usefully amplifies our capacity to imagine. And if a picture is worth 1,000 words, I would say it's actually the story behind it that amplifies our capacity to imagine. And it's that ability to imagine, to put ourselves in a different place, in a different time, in a different land, in a different body, that allows us to have empathy and to have compassion. And it's compassion, with compassion, that we'll be able to survive. Thank you. Thanks. So I became a storyteller, but in a different medium than I intended. I've been playing music since I was really young, and I wish I still had those shoes. And 20 years later, I found myself playing music all over the place. And I found that there was magic in what happened when performing with an audience, and to be able to congregate and bring people together. And that I so know that listening, and you as listeners, it is not a passive act by any means, and that there's a collaboration that takes place on stage. So I dedicated the past 10 years of my life to this, and recording and performing, and I feel very privileged that I've been able to do this. And in the meantime, this is a sampling of some of the initiatives and organizations that I've been able to help support in institutions as a musician. Though, after the past 10 years of sleeping in the back of my car, and as you can imagine, playing benefit gigs, it's very, very lucrative, it's very glamorous. I was getting really tired and losing touch with that which prompted me to do this in the first place. And so my husband and I sold our house and most of our belongings. We gave everything away, and we joined this initiative. Is a project, the vision of a friend and mentor in California, Gigi Coyle. And as a group of 8, an intergenerational group, we traveled to sustainable, intentional communities around the world to look at how they were addressing healing in all different realms, and what kind of technologies that they were using, and what ancient technologies they were revisiting. And so the day that we left, we were sent off by this man. His name is Matiwaya. He's a Shimash elder from California, and he runs the Wishtoyo Foundation. And he sent us with a song, the Heart Song, and is a traditional song of his people. And it was such a powerful thing. And it was given and received in a spirit of reconciliation. And we carried that song all over the world and carried his story with us as well. And as we traveled, this music became an integral piece of this journey, the thing that brought people together. And I witnessed it over and over again. So I'll say in this picture, I was singing Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics in a little island community in the South China Sea, and people recognized it. And I was blown away. I thought, oh my Lord, this is what music can do. It's reach far and wide. Here in Portugal, we were at a Peace Workers University, and people came from places of crisis and conflict all over the world to come together to talk about their internal and external peace work. And again, music became the place where people could overlap. And in a room where almost nobody spoke the same language, when it came time to sing, everybody raised their voices together. And in that meeting, we had important dialogue. And through our travels, we saw people preserving culture and celebrating, and we weathered storms. And this is not news. I recognize this, but it cemented in me. Oh, and here we also got through some really awkward cultural moments as well, or differences. But it cemented in me the notion that it's just important, and we need to foster music. So Claudio is from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I met him while I was in Portugal, and neither one of us spoke the same language, but we played music together, and we had this instant connection. And he comes from this neighborhood called Jardim Angela in Sao Paulo, that in '96 was named the most dangerous neighborhood in the world by the UN due to drug-related violence. And since that time, there's been this groundswell of grassroots efforts, especially in arts and culture, that has really started to change things. And he's been teaching over 250 students out of his house here every year for free, teaching them music, teaching them audiovisual, vocational skills, and having a huge, huge effect on his community. And when he invited me to come, I jumped at the opportunity. I spent a month with him, bearing witness to his work and collaborating. And I was, transcendence was the word that kept coming up for me. And despite the physical and economic bounds of where they were, the joy and energy and love and power that came from them and through them was transcendent. And I pulled up this definition, which said it all for me. And I came back home and I thought, I need to be doing this at home. And so I've started a new project, the Transcendence Project, and it's in its nascent stages. I'm pretending that this is the launch party for it right now, because this is, yes, thank you. Because you're all the first people to actually hear this name. And I've been talking about it for a while, but it's time to do it. And so for me, I had to identify, okay, what moves us? What's moving in me? And for me, it's been music. And how can we incite and invite action in ourselves and our community? And again, this is where I said, okay, it's time to actually put this aside, my reservations, and actually do something and support the good work that's being done already. And for me, this meant collaborating. I've been a one-woman show for a really long time. And it also meant presenting other artists and supporting other artists instead of myself as an artist. And I hope that I get, I'll get some time to play in there as well. And then engaging our hearts and our humanity with our heads, because it comes back to that law and the policy, which are absolutely necessary, and technology as well. We can have all of these things, but what will compel people to adopt them, and from what place are they actually born or developed? Because every external action or movement comes from an internal movement or catalyst. So that's what I'm interested in. So I'm going to leave you with a song and some images from Brazil. And while I was there, the things that kind of embodied the sense of transcendence to me were the hummingbirds, which they call beija-flor, flower kisser. And they would flit around and find the flowers that had grown up through the cracks in the cement, and also the kites that the children would fly from the tops of the rooftops, and that's how they touched the sky.
Oh, beija-flor, you transcend, and no one can take the levity which you defend. So few believed that you'd ever fly. Now no one can take the gravity which you defy. Where houses stuck like dominoes and alleys know the secrets that no one else knows. And thick in the air, competing with the sun, hangs a cloud of despair. The city swells and swallows you whole, but you won't be eaten alive. It's not your time to go. Just like a kite, you transcend. When the wind gusts, you sway and bend. The harder it blows, the higher you go. Just like a kite, you transcend. Taking matters in your own hands, standing in the face of so many fears. People say can't be done, undoing what's been done through all of those years. But what you perceive will be revealed. inside that only you feel. Oh beija-flor que transcende, ninguém rouba a vez que defender. Descerão quem não podia orar, ninguém desvia a gravidade que tomar. Oh beija-flor que transcende, contemporal, enverga e você balançar.